It's one thing to be able to discuss things in class, and it's a completely different thing when you're taking it from your comfort zone and put into a real world, and being able to communicate and being able to showcase your pieces to the general public. I think that's why this kind of exhibitions is very important.
The kind of student booth is kind of, I think, where the exciting part is, and the prototype section is kind of like the new and upcoming kind of trends in design. And I think all the schools represent a good portion of Canadian design where it's kind of heading.
Started out as a project with a bunch of different sketch models. We were given a bunch of materials and they said, okay, you have 10 minutes to make something globular, 10 minutes to make something geometric. And from that, we've made this whole gallery of unexpected objects of beauty. So we started off with a lot of things ended up going into the lighting and mood lighting range. These sketch models were very similar to what the final product was. This rope light at the bottom is kind of a new fun way of saying rope light, like rope light that's attractive instead of so industrial and utilitarian. We have some nice work with LEDs with Yang's lamp. It's quite gorgeous. Teague did a really nice kind of mood light thing. She was going with a CD rack business. Carla was inspired by found objects and making them appear like they're together. So she went out and cut a bunch of different crumb moldings and whatnot and to make it into a mirror piece, which I think is really successful. This piece was used to just bend tube. She wanted to look at how exactly you're going to bend tube and try to make something that doesn't really look like it should hold something. So this is her fruit basket. This is Shelby's. Umid had something very much like this in his final shape of a sketch model, and he was wondering how he can make it a function, and so he made it a vase with these flowers. It's absolutely gorgeous. My work started out as I'm Amanda. My work started as a dowel with some wire wrapped around it, and I looked into it and thought, hey, I can make that lighting. And so this is kind of where the experiment went for trying to wrap around wood and have a ribbon of light was the main goal. The next one, Devin, he had this really crazy sketch model of this piece of foam that was kind of falling apart, and he really wanted to have this lamp that you could move around the room however you wanted. He was like, I kind of want to make it gross and emotive and interesting, and he totally achieved that. It's probably one of the most unexpected objects in the booth. Isabel had this little ice cube tray on wheels, and it was super, super cute. She was like, okay, I want to blow this up and make this kind of a coffee table. So hers is really explorative. She was like, how do I, at first it was going to be a footstool, and then she's like, if I make these cuts, you can easily hold magazines and whatnot there. And so it's a whole different way of holding up a table, and tons of people have been interested in the texture and touching it and just thinking, hey, that's a great idea with magazines and just slot it in. Sydney had some sort of coiled thing as her sketch model, and so she was interested in how she could get glass to curve around and create this light, so it's kind of a shadeless light. It's quite beautiful and a totally different kind of experiment. Thomas wasn't a part of this project, but he wanted to do something that was emotive, so he grabbed an old lamp, made a cast of it, and then made this whole lamp a candle, so it's questioning different qualities of light. Colin, his sketch model was pretty much his shoe, and then he vacuum formed some plastic over it, and he's like, okay, what do I do with this? He's like, oh, I know, I'll make a tissue. And so it's kind of like this shoe that's a tissue box. It's also a doorstop, so you can just throw your shoe down, and there it is. Derek had this kind of strange potato lamp thing for his sketch model, and he came up with these kind of like little light boxes. They kind of look like books. And this material is something that he carried forward into the final product. He had this in his sketch model. He's like, I really like this kind of stuff, and kept it going. It's really beautiful. Barb built her cabinet of curiosities, and she was really interested in how you can hold things differently and what kind of things you want to display and how things are displayed. And so she's like, if I put it on its side or its front or upside down, it's garnered a lot of attention at the show. Just like, oh, well, that's an interesting way how to hold things and how to see things. So again, another really successful unexpected object. And finally, Amanda Kwok she just was interested in combining things. A lot of her sketch model was pretty much resolved items and then combine them together to make totally different things. This is actually supposed to be a floor lamp, so it shouldn't be sitting on the floor. And I think it's an oil canister, a lampshade, and she made this purple glow with LEDs kind of arrive out of it. So that's the unexpected booth at the University of Alberta. Thanks.